Before we dive in, let's get some breakfast. I like to start the day with some plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. I think this is the messiest I've ever put yogurt into a bowl, but then I top it with what I like to call granola sand. I take my favorite granola, which right now is toasted coconut granola that you can find at Trader Joe's, and then I put it into a food processor until it's a very sandy consistency. I just love the texture of granola sand with yogurt. And then I put a few pieces of fruit on top, whatever berries look good in the store that week, and I top it off with a little desert mesquite honey. It's sweet and tart and one of my favorite ways to start the day. Hello, my name is Jen. I'm a fiber artist living in Tucson, Arizona. Last week on my channel, I shared the pattern for this top. This top is called the Solomon's Knot Top, and that's because it's made using the Solomon's Knot stitch. In the background, I was doing another project with the same stitch and also just kind of playing around with some other projects, so I thought I'd share with you what I've been up to. This is the Solomon's Knot Drape Front Vest, and it is actually the most popular pattern in my Etsy shop. I'll link it below if you want to check it out. But I think because I was in the flow of working with this stitch, I decided to go ahead and do something I have always wanted to do. I have always wanted to give the Drape Front Vest sleeves, just to have another variation on this super comfortable, versatile layer. Here is the first prototype I made. I used Scarfie by Lion Brand and actually a larger hook because I wanted to see if I could kind of whip it up fast and have the fabric be even more open and cool for the summer. I was really happy to find that it was quite easy to create sleeves and have them look just seamless, worked into the fabric, but there were a couple things I wanted to tweak. On this green one, which isn't showing up quite as nice on film, I made a few changes. I made the front a little bit shorter, and I also gave it a little more fabric on the shoulders. After solving some of my design issues with the green one, I made one more. All of these are Scarfie, but I really like how it made up in this colorway of Scarfie. I kind of like that there are two different colors playing throughout the whole piece. If you ever see something in one of these diary entries and you would like to make it, I am so open to suggestion. Just comment below, Jen, make that into a tutorial. I don't need very much encouraging. I also took some time out this week to plant my favorite kind of cactus. This might sound a little crazy, but the most challenging part about planting here is digging the hole. The ground is so hard, so you need one more piece of equipment, and that is a watering can or some source of water. And then you just fill your little hole up with water, and while we wait for that to soften the earth, let me show you a mature version of this cactus. We are currently walking through one of my favorite places, and that is the Tucson Botanical Gardens. And here it is. Here's the mature version of my favorite cactus. It's referred to as the old man cactus because the woolly exterior looks like an old man's beard. But when I saw it for the first time, I just loved that this was a cactus that looked like it was covered in wool. So that's the mature cactus, and here's my little one finally in the ground. Theirs and mine, I guess it'll just take some time. This week in Arizona has been a little unusual because we've had some overcast days and we're even getting our first monsoons of the season. I'll show you some video of a storm we just had in just a minute here. But with the cloudy days, it wasn't really good for filming or working on the channel as much. And so I found myself just sitting and playing with some linen and glass beads. And I just started making some little necklaces. I feel like this is something we all have done as crocheters, just make these chain link necklaces and add some beads to them. But it's something I find myself going back to from time to time Mostly just because they're a lot of fun to make, and you know, jewelry like this is so easy and fun in the summertime. It's natural linen and glass beads, so it's made out of natural materials, and it's also really practical if you happen to live in the desert like I do, because it's really hard to wear metal jewelry here. Like if you spend any time outside at all, you'll actually start to feel the metal burning your skin. So to wear some nice linen, this is a fingering weight linen. This is something you can wear and it just feels really comfortable on your body all day long. So with this one, I have just 5 chains. Each one is a little bit longer than the one before it. The first one of these I tried to be really random with where I placed the beads, and I didn't like it as much. So with this one, I've gone back to being a little more intentional, using a little more math in terms of bead placement. I do think it's kind of fun to let it lay a little, you know, let those chains squiggle a little bit. I think that's kind of a fun look, but you could wet it down and block it and have these lay more flat and even if you wanted it to as well. So with this one, they're all the same beads. This is very uniform. The linen I used happens to have some variation in the color, and I think that's what kind of helps make this one look a little bit more interesting. Then I wanted to try one with just many more strands, and I wanted it to look more like a bundle, like just a bundle of chains. And I also wanted to make one that was much more colorful. So with this one, I basically used every color of the rainbow. This is also made from linen, but this linen is a little bit thicker. This is more like a sock weight linen. And I just have all the colors on this one, which I think is a lot of fun. There are varying lengths in here, but they're much closer together, and some are the same length, so it just looks much more like a bundle of chains grouped together. There's variation in the color of linen, there's every color of bead, and some variation on the shapes of beads. There's a few natural stones, some flower shapes, some little cylinders, but mostly they're just little seed beads that I've mixed on there. But this one I think I'll get a lot of use out of just because it's going to go with everything. The color of the linen is kind of a nice natural neutral color, so that one is a lot of fun. This is the necklace I've been wearing today, so I actually had to take this off to show you. I'm back to using just 5 strands here and making each strand a little bit longer than the one before it. Starting off a little bit longer with the shortest one, so it's not choker length, it's a bit longer than choker length. With this one, I really went with a color palette, so the beads you see are in shades of blue and green and a little splash of black here and there. And I really like the way this one turned out, so I can see myself wearing this one quite a bit. Let me show you the closure real quick. So I crocheted these in such a way that there is a loop on each end, and then it was really easy just to put a jump ring through each one of those loops and use a little lobster claw clasp, and that's all there is to it. If you wanted to be able to adjust the length, you could add a little bit of chain to one of those jump rings. So even though I feel like everyone's probably made little cotton or linen jewelry from crochet before, maybe you're new to crochet and maybe this is something you've never done and you'd like a tutorial. And if that's the case, let me know, because this would be a fun tutorial to share. I also think it's a lot of fun to play with beads and to get to pick out beads that you love. And you know, and every time you make one of these, you can be using different colors, you can be using different numbers of strings, and just really personalize it and make it your own. So this is just another thing I've been playing with behind the scenes this week as I've been working on that Solomon's Knot top project. This is kind of just what I've been doing for me, for fun, in the background. I promised I'd show you our first monsoon of the season. Here's my little 32-inch Afghan pine holding on for all she's worth through this storm. While I'm sitting here, let me also show you the yarn that I picked up from Grandma's spinning wheel. And I didn't buy a lot. I just bought a couple things of yarn, and I bought a little Angelina Fiber to use when I'm spinning. Let me back this up. So yes, I just bought 5 skeins, and I was thinking I might use this one for the Solomon's Knot top. It's a chainette. This is Tullaweed by Louisa Harding, and it is a medium weight chainette style yarn that has a tweed effect, and I really do enjoy having a little bit of color be popping through the fabric. So I do like this, and I think I just sort of picked up this yarn a little too late to use it for that project. It's an interesting blend, 49% virgin wool, 26% cotton, 13% nylon, 8% acrylic, and 4% viscose. So just a little bit of everything in this yarn, but it has a really nice soft feel. It came in some pretty colorways. I kind of like these neutral, just this soft blue with the gray. I thought that was pretty, especially with these pops of orange and red coming through. So this one, and I guess I should say this color is called Moire. It's color 108 Moire. It's made in Italy, and once again, it's a medium weight, and it's put up in 350 meters or 382 yards. That's part of the reason I only bought 2 skeins, because 382 yards, that's quite a generous put up for that. I showed you this one in the project prep video for the Solomon's Knot top, but this is Cotton Supreme by Universal Yarn, and this is just a medium weight cotton yarn. It is 100% cotton. The color is just called red, and it is a really pretty red. I think it's got some nice cool undertones to it. It's not a yellow red, but more of a blue-based red. It's a little bit linty. I don't know. It probably was living in that shop for a while before I came along and bought it, so I might need to take a lint roller to this before I work it up. The put up for this one is, so this one comes in 180 yard or 165 meter hanks, and I just thought it was a pretty color of red. Now there would be enough. I have 3 skeins of this, so I do have enough that if I wanted to make one of my Drape Front Vests with sleeves, I would have enough of this yarn to make one of those, and that could be fun. That could be a fun way to add a little bit of red into my wardrobe. The one other thing I picked up from Grandma's spinning wheel was some Angelina Fiber, and unless you are a spinner, you might not be familiar with this, but it's a sparkly, fine, I believe, a nylon. And when you blend a little bit of this into your, I almost don't want to take it out because it's going to get everywhere. Let me just bring it up closer to the camera. I like this color. I thought this kind of copper color was really pretty, and it has some sparkle to it. And you need just the littlest bit to add a little bit of bling to whatever yarn you're spinning. So this is the other purchase I made at Grandma's spinning wheel. I thought it might be nice to finish our walk, but before I go, I just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time.